Hey, drop. Yeah, hey, drop.
Welcome. It's your man God of Dice back with another episode of the Audible. Hope everybody has had a good week. I know that I have. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Yes, I hope everybody's had a good week, man. I know that I have. It's been kind of long. Ain't gonna lie to you. Working on a lot of things. Hopefully tonight, let me get a little bit of the housekeeping out of the way. Hopefully tonight or early tomorrow. I will have uploaded my first video in the new series, the NFL, the off-season season previews I will be doing for each and every team. We'll see how it kind of goes and kind of go from there. I'm going to let you know now. It is a work in progress. Be patient with your boy. Be patient with your boy. It was a lot harder than doing a live stream. I will tell you that much. The amount of retakes that I had to do just to get the audio right, get the material right for the video. It's a lot of work, a lot more work than I thought it would be, but hopefully we'll practice it, get better. Let me give shouts out to those who have made themselves known. How you doing, the Friday? Did you do a name swap? Yes, I did. Like I said, this channel will be focused mostly on football going forward. I still will be breaking hot topics, and that's kind of like the reason why I have this live stream set up for today. We're going to talk about Ja Morant getting suspended. Adam Silver finally came down with the hammer. And we got to talk about it. How you doing, Miss Merv? Happy Friday. Yeah, happy Friday to you too. For those that, that care, yes, I will be doing a show in the other realm. I hadn't planned on it, but due to the week's events, kind of calls for a little commentary. But that's for later on tonight. I'm going to kind of get this out the way. But the question of the day, and you see it, scrolling across the bottom of your screen, is 25 games enough for Ja? If you haven't been paying attention, today Adam Silver earlier this morning came down with the verdict. And I'm just going to call it a verdict because that's what it was. It was a ruling on the Ja Morant situation. Came down, gave him a 25-game suspension. This has got to, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. It's a little less than what I predicted. I was predicting around 30 games. 25 is still a good chunk of the season. We're talking about roughly 35% of the season will be missed due to suspension. Alongside with that suspension, he will not be able to, practice with the team. He will not be able to participate in any kind of team-related activities, even including the preseason, which is, kind of different. When you consider the NFL, typically when an NFL guy gets suspended, they allow him to still kind of participate in team activities, still be around the team, remember to work out, that kind of stuff. But the NBA is a little bit different. And this is a very unique situation. So, he won't be able to, participate in any kind of team activities. Questions I have with the suspension is 25. Like I said, 25. I was thinking 30. We all kind of saw this kind of coming down the pipe when that last Instagram video popped up with, Ja with the guns, and considering what transpired during the season in regards to firearms. It was much to be expected that he was going to get suspended for a very lengthy part of time. And I made, I said, hey, Ja Morant is about to be the poster child for what not to do in regards to the NBA, is in regards to what you put on your social media. And that's what this basically is. I'm pretty sure the NBA didn't go with the excuse that he had a toy gun. That was a reach, man. That was a reach. That was a reach. Now, do I think John need to be suspended? If you're going to suspend him, go ahead, suspend him, and be done with it. No sense of dragging it out. Like I said, John Morant is going to be the poster child for what not to do on social media, how not to portray yourself on social media. And I've been saying this for I don't know how many shows, how many weeks. When you become a professional athlete, especially a big time professional athlete such as a John Morant, who has so much to gain just by being a basketball player on the court and being successful on the court, and how that translates to off court success. And we're going to talk about off courses, off the court success, because if you haven't heard, also Michael Jordan has sold majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets, estimated to walk away with about $3 billion. But we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But like I said, John Morant, hey, you got to understand, you're not a businessman, you are a business man. You can't put yourself in situations that may compromise you, may compromise your earning potential going forward. I'm pretty sure sponsors out there are not going to want to be using you as the face of their products for the foreseeable future. Now, you have an opportunity. You're young enough in your career. You're a fairly popular player. Your jersey sales are top 10 in the league, if I'm not mistaken. You have a chance to kind of rehabilitate your image. I would say that. Closest thing I can think of off the top of my head when I'm talking about guys rehabilitating their image after being involved in off the court mess, I would probably look back to Kobe. Kobe, with the sexual assault case that he had out in Colorado, how that tarnished his brand, tarnished his career for a time. But he has enough time to rehabilitate his image. At his core, I don't think John Morant is a bad person. I think he just made some very stupid young man decisions. But I can't blame it on the youth, because when you're in that position, you become a professional. You become a professional. You're not a high school kid anymore. You're not in college. You're a professional NBA player. You're an all-star NBA player, and you've cost yourself so much money. Just by not making the All NBA team, you cost yourself $38 million of your extension going forward. With your suspension, you are being suspended without pay. I want to say the final number that came out as far as like the total amount of money he's expected to lose on the court. I want to say $7.5 million. That, I didn't know NBA players, game checks was like that. I want to say Ja was expected to earn about $300K a game this upcoming season. But with you being suspended for 25 games of the season, you stand to lose $7.5 million. That's got to hit your pockets. It's got to hurt your pockets. Hope you've kind of budgeted your money. Hope you've not been splurging too much to where you're any kind of financial bind. I don't really think so. That's a lot of money to blow. But we've seen professional athletes blow way more money than $7.5 million. So it's possible. But hopefully for Ja, I hope your financial manager. Well, let me say this. Hope your financial manager wasn't one of the people that was in the car, because they need to be fired on the spot ASAP. But Ja gets suspended for 25 games. What does that look like for the Memphis Grizzlies? Do they go out this offseason and potentially find a short-term option as far as replacing the scoring and the playmaking that Ja Morant brings to the Memphis Grizzlies? I don't know. I know key free agents they have. I know Dylan Brooks is just the one that's been touted about. Is it a possibility they bring him back on maybe a short-term deal? I don't know what kind of market Dylan Brooks is going to have going into the off season. But we're about on the cusp of that. I want to say next week is the NBA draft. There's been a lot of talk of guys potentially getting moved during the draft. I know the Bradley Beal market is kind of heating up, but I think Bradley Beal is heating up, but it's not to the level of a Dame Lillard. And simply being, not to say that Bradley Beal is not a comparable player. Bradley Beal is one of the best scorers, one of the most efficient scorers the NBA has. But his contract is ugly. When we're talking about the amount of money he's going to get paid per year going forward, I want to say going into next season with his contract, he's possibly top five as far as guys per year salary. And then then you got to also account for Washington can't just trade him to anybody because Bradley Beal, which I think is a very smart thing when we're talking about being a professional athlete. Anytime you have an opportunity to have a no trade clause put into your contract, I think that's a very smart business move. Kind of allows you to kind of control your destiny. Kind of control your destiny. I don't think Washington wants to move off of him, but it's kind of hard to put pieces around Bradley Beal as far as guys coming in on the free agent side. Nobody wants to play in Washington. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. Nobody wants to play in Washington. Washington is not a very exciting locale for NBA players. The Wizards are not a very exciting team. They're not an up-and-coming team. They're not a box office team. So, I mean, Washington's kind of stuck with Bradley Beal unless Bradley Beal goes to them and say, hey, I want to possibly be traded. And, with having a no trade clause in his contract, he is able to go any and everywhere that he may choose. And if they got to have the money to fit it, so that really limits the options. I know there's been talk of him possibly being included in a package with the Golden State Warriors, possibly being in the market for a Bradley Beal to replace Klay Thompson, who is up for a big extension. Do they move off of Klay Thompson and replace him with Bradley Beal? I think to get that deal done, you're talking about moving off of Klay, moving off of Wiggins, possibly Kuminga or another player, or maybe even Jordan Poole may be thrown into that deal. Is that enough to bring a Bradley Beal to Golden State? I think if you get Bradley Beal and he's healthy in Golden State is going into the season one of the favorites to possibly contend for the NBA title next year. I think Bradley Beal is that good of a player. I think Klay Thompson's best years are behind him. I think the injury really robbed him of the final years of his prime. Not to say that Klay Thompson is still not a great player to have on your team. He's a good team guy. He's just not the same player he was offensively, just not the same player he was defensively since the injury. So if you're able to upgrade, and that's what it would be if you bring in a Bradley Beal, you bring in an upgrade. But this is the money. It's the money. It's the money. It's the money. The money. But we'll see. We'll see what that looks like going forward. Still Dame Lillard is the talk. It's also been kind of reported that the Lakers have been kind of snooping around to the James Harden camp, see if he's interested in possibly coming in on a short-term deal to team up with LeBron and AD out in LA. Haven't really thought about it. What's going on, TC? You'll take Klay over Bradley? I don't know. Bradley Beal right now is a much better scorer than Klay, and I don't think Klay is the same. While I got a little time before showing the other realm, but yeah, I don't think. I think Beal is a clear upgrade over Klay at this point in their career. Not to say that Klay can't go and be successful somewhere. I think if you move a Klay Thompson to just about any team, he enhances. But I think Bradley Beal is just a much better player at this point. If Klay was had not got hurt a couple years ago and was on the trajectory that he was, I think Klay was in position to be possibly the best two guard in the league. But he's just not the same player defensively, just not the same player offensively. And let's keep it a buck. Klay wasn't the most athletic of guys. He's great moving without the ball. He's great on the catch and shoot three. But Klay, he can create, but he was never a dynamic athlete at any point. Like I said, I think Bradley Beal has proven over the past couple of years by being in the running for the scoring title. Is just a much better scorer. And Bradley Beal is not a volume shooter. He doesn't shoot a very low percentage. If I'm able to get Beal, if I got to move off of Klay and possibly Wiggins to make that deal happen, I think that's something Golden State really has to seriously look at because this is a critical, also probably the most critical offseason that the Golden State Warriors have had in a long time. You got to make a decision on what you're going to do with Klay long term. Draymond has a player option that he can opt into that will give him pay him about 27 and a half for next year. I know Draymond is possibly going to opt in with the hopes of securing a more long-term deal. I think older players, it's not really about chasing the single season. As far as the money is concerned, they're looking for long-term security at this point. So Draymond, I think he possibly will go ahead and opt in, hoping that Golden State is able to work out a long-term extension. I mean, very critical all season for the Golden State Warriors. I mean, and we'll kind of see what they do. We're going to start with the draft next week. Pieces are possibly being moved in. We were talking about free agency. Do you keep Jordan Poole? Is he the long-term future for the Golden State Warriors? I don't know. Give me a sec, y'all. Got a guest. You don't have that too much over here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, what's going on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, my bad. I'm pumping this gas real quick. But yeah, no, I was saying I would take Clay or Bradley. It don't matter to me because I don't think James is coming back here. So we're gonna have to fill that void somehow, some way.
Well, I don't think Philly's in a position to really because if you to get Bradley, you got to trade for him. And my thing is, who are you going to give up that Washington is going to want off of your team?
Well, that's where you get creative. You pull in the third team, like say the Rockets, for instance, right? Where Houston, wants to get back into James Harden. They got a few young players over there, so you got to work out some sort of sign and trade, maybe. You gotta do something where, all right, if I'm like, say if I'm the Sixers GM who's allegedly close to James Harden, I can't remember his name off the top, but I think his best option is to go to James and be like, look, wherever you want to go, let us work out a sign and trade so we at least get something back for you. You feel me?
I mean, that would be a smart play. But
Daryl Morey, him and Daryl Morey close.
Yeah. I think James. I know he is talks to him wanting to go to Houston. Me personally, I think that'd be a bad look for his career. I mean, because you have nothing to gain by being in Houston other than being in a comfort zone and playing with no pressure. I think it'd be better for him to possibly come back to Philly. Maybe take a little less money and see if they can bring in some additional pieces.
Yeah, only thing is I don't think Philly wants him back. I would actually like to see him on LA. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where he comes from. You know what I'm saying? His hometown team. And like I said, if you're able to like really work out some sort of like, package where you could get something in return. You might even gotta throw in a fourth team like the Lakers. But yeah, it's you just got to get creative. But that's just wishful thinking.
Okay, well, let's get back to the topic of the day. What you think about Ja Morant getting 25 games, man?
It's again, like that whole thing is weird, man. I mean, you would think that a kid with all that at his feet wouldn't do something so stupid, even if it was a toy gun. They on your head. So I gotta place some blame on him, but at the same time, it's excessive. I mean, come on, nobody got killed, nobody got shot, nothing. But that's the NBA. They got an image to uphold.
Exactly, and that was the point. It reminds me of when Zeke got suspended for 6 games. It's not about are we finding you guilty in a court of law? With these professional organizations, are you guilty in the court of public opinion? And
right.
I thought Ja was going to get 30. I think 25 is a good safe number. It's kind of like the Negro wake up call for the rest of the NBA players. Like, hey, watch what you're doing.
He shouldn't get anything. He's being made an example out of.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I mean, it's another story similar to that. Well, not similar to that, but there was another situation. Remember Terrell Pryor?
Yeah.
From Ohio State?
Yeah, I remember that.
He got suspended by the NFL when he was not even under the NFL's jurisdiction.
But you know
You
how
know,
that goes. I mean, these players associations give so much power and authority to the owners. We're talking about handing out discipline for their players. Um, I'm curious to see what the conversation was like between the players association and the commissioner in regards to Ja. Like, was this a negotiated 25 games? Because I heard early reports that they were gonna try to suspend this dude for half the season.
I mean, bro, you got to think about this. Like, the Players Association was any sort of like a strong like backbone for the players. He shouldn't have got no. He shouldn't have got no suspension, man. He really he did nothing. Illegal. I mean, nothing, bro.
Yeah. Well, I
Hey,
mean, I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you, but you got to look at it. It's a culmination of everything that happened with him this past season. I mean, he finds himself in situations that professional athletes shouldn't be finding themselves in. Like, why are you pulling out a gun on a 17-year-old for playing basketball at your house? And that's how the story goes. Like, why are you even associated with that kind of bullshit? I mean, let's keep it above. Why are you even
yeah,
putting yourself in a position to where you're? Come on, man. You want to hear these kind of stories from the Kobe's and the Shaqs, like getting involved in off the court stuff at their house with
bro.
nobody.
See, this the thing though, drama. You got to remember, there's a lot of stuff that would have been covered up back in the day. Like he got caught on social media twice with one. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
of course that would never happen. But we know about the Jordan stories with the gambling. I seen a story about Isaiah Thomas up in Detroit running like a little gambling ring for the mafia.
I mean,
So
it's stories like I remember the Cowboys running the White House back in the 90s. It's just what, like you said, social media is a big part of the reason why he got suspended. Because if they'd have just heard about him, possibly flashing a gun at his house, he wouldn't have got 25 games. Just the fact that you're on IG Live looking like a whole goofy. I'm just gonna be honest, looking like a whole goofy. You're trying to portray an image because you went to a song or whatnot. Like, dude, come on, man.
yeah. You would think that they would be above that. Like, they wouldn't be out here thirst trapping or trying to impress people on social media. Like, you an NBA player, But yeah, that's why I said I place blame on him also. But
Yeah.
I mean, this is just another example of the powers that be just flexing on us. They can flex on you at any time, man. I mean, let me ask, do you believe the Jordan retirement was really a suspension, or do you think that was a legit retirement?
It all depends on how you kind of look at it. It all depends on how you kind of look at it. I think they was going to kind of come down and have some kind of conversation, some kind of discipline with what was going on with him. But I don't think the NBA at the time. Jordan is a whole nother category when you talk about possibly suspending him for what, gambling off the court. Like, unless you can prove he was gambling on games, it'd have been hard for David Stern to like justify, I'm going to suspend Jordan for gambling or betting on golf games and playing poker. Like, and you talking about the face of the league. That's a completely different thing, man. Like,
Yeah,
I think
but I mean, if you watch, like, I recently watched the Air Jordan movie. Like, you talk about an investment. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And it wasn't just Nike. You had Gatorade, the whole "I want to be like Mike" campaign, Space Jam, all that. I mean, dude, he could not have a shit stain on his name like that and continue to have all these endorsements.
But we're talking about the face of the league. Like, Miss Bird makes a good point. Regular Joes, like, if we're talking like fringe starters or uh guys that are not, leading teams to championship. I mean, Jordan was the face of the league. We're talking about pull the NBA out of the 80s. I mean, because I remember, I'm young enough to remember when they used to record the NBA finals. and,
No, you
and
old enough to remember that. God damn.
yeah, I'm old enough to remember when they used to record the NBA final. That's how bad the NBA was, was down that bad back in the day before Jordan came. Like I said, I don't think David Stern would have had the nuts to say I'm suspend Jordan for the extracurricular stuff.
No, that's why he pulled the whole, retirement move. I mean, that's my opinion. I'm not sure.
I think that was a flex. I think that was a flex on the NBA. Like, I can walk away at any time.
Right.
And he thought he was going to be successful with something else, but I mean, he eventually came back. Now, speaking of Jordan, what you think about Jordan selling majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets?
Hey, man, he gambling, man. Shit, he need that money. he ain't changed.
I look at it. I mean, I look at it from two perspectives. I'm kind of sad that he's selling because we need more black ownership, and I'm talking about majority ownership when it comes to sports. But I can't be mad because he only paid $275 million to become the owner, and he's flipped it for $3 billion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's a come up. Man. He get the. Because I've heard a lot of stories about Jordan, man. I heard a lot of stories about Iverson, all of them, bro. Like, Barkley, owing casinos money. Like, they regular people just like us. They're vulnerable. So, I mean, he came up 275, but he still owns, some stake in the Hornets. So
yeah, he still owns.
Not a total loss.
Yeah, it's not a total loss, but like I said, I'm not mad because he was able to flip the money, man. But like, damn, I was hoping we have him kind of stick around and possibly encourage more black ownership in these sporting teams, man.
Well, you do know that there's a lot of people that's like attempting. Like, you really got to be like brought in under like certain circumstances. You talk about, I vouch for this guy. We talking about a club where guys like Vince McMahon and Donald Trump wasn't even allowed. Like, the NFL stopped them from owning teams. Like, no, you can't. We don't want you here. So. I mean, there's been guys. I know Puff was trying to buy the Knicks a few years ago.
Yeah, I know his guys have been, trying to get in. And they'll allow them to have a minority stake, but
majority.
Yeah, that's the key right there. When you say I'm a majority owner, it's plenty. I mean, it's plenty of black professionals, black men and women that are minority owners in a lot of these sporting teams, but you'll never hear about them because they're not the ones really writing the checks.
Right. I mean, it's just, but Jordan can only do so much. I mean, you got other legends out here. They didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't make as much money as he did, but if they would have been, business savvy like Jordan was, then I mean, Shaq and Barkley is only relegated to inside the NBA.
Well, no, but Shaq's got a lot of off the court money. A lot of his money comes from businesses that he owns and all that.
Papa John's,
Shaq is even after leaving the NBA has still remained a brand. Not only owning businesses, but being sponsored by other businesses. So that
tells you he got enough money. Barkley probably got enough money. Magic Johnson got enough money. But if you're in or you're not, it's a wall. Obviously, they getting like some type of resistance from, like, because those names don't even come up. I know Magic Johnson's name came up one time, I think, with the Clippers when David Sterling was trying to get David Sterling out of there.
Yeah. But,
of course that didn't go through,
Well, I think these guys try, man. And I think, with the NBA or NFL, what they'll do is they'll release their names. This to kind of like show that, hey, we're inclusive, but we know the game. We know the hustle.
Yeah, we know the game.
That's
what I'm saying. Like we saying like, yeah, we can't be upset at Jordan because he's the only one and he's deciding to make money and flip his money, because at the same time, either other players aren't doing it on his level, or they getting met with some resistance. But at the same time, you know, I mean, I don't want to badmouth Jordan, but he could speak up. No.
Yeah, but that's never been Mike's stance. Mike has been when we talk about social issues, Mike has always been kind of like, no comment. Like,
Yeah, because that's a battle that, man.
yeah, I mean, that's an uphill. Like I said, I look at it two ways. I'm happy he was able to flip that to what he got,
Mhm.
but at the same time, it ain't many of us. And
It's not. It's
it's
by
that.
design. I'm telling you, drama.
Yeah,
It's
I
by
mean, I know it's by design, but you would think, one brother that got in, would be able to just, if not hold the door open for other people, but at least hold the fort down.
You never know what go on behind the scenes, drama. Imagine, right? If Jordan was to speak up, right? Then that's when you will really hear all the fuck shit he's been involved in. You know what I'm saying? They'll start leaking all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you don't know if this was like, him just trying to make some money, or maybe it was also the fact that, he was forced to. You never know, man. They play dirty, man. They play dirty.
Yeah, I get it, man. But like I said, I can't be mad at him because
Yeah.
in any other kind of business, for you to take 275 and flip it to $3 billion,
Mm-hmm.
that's a major come up. But in the realm of sports, when we're talking about, it's so we're talking about a small collective of players, but even smaller collective of owners. I mean, you're talking about 30 NBA owners, 32 NFL owners. Like, I mean, it ain't too many of them people on the planet that can say I own a sports team, professional sports team, major league sports team at that. I do think Magic Johnson's got some ownership stake in the Dodgers, but he's not majority owner. He's not a majority owner, but that's neither here nor there. Congratulations to Jordan. We'll see what Charlotte looks like under the new ownership. You back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. I think Charlotte wasn't going anywhere, and I think Michael just disinterested.
Well, I'm
With
curious to know, who did he sell to?
I don't know. Let me look it up real quick. But let me look it up.
I mean, you don't have to, but
Oh no, I'm curious who's who the hell, I don't know who these guys are. Da, 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 da.
yeah, right. You never know who they are.
Well, no, okay. So the two guys, Gabe Plotkin and Rick Schnell. One Plotkin was previously a minority owner with the Hornets, so he got his bread up, and Schnell was a minority owner with the Hawks.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you talking about guys that's already in the door.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So you just never know with these type situations, man. You just never know. I mean, that's the conspiracy, side of me coming out, like, like
I listen. I get it because I'm looking at the like the rest of the group. Here's they always keep one of us around. J. Cole is part of the minority group, part of that sale. He's part of the buyers group, but he's a minority stake owner.
yeah, token, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, hey man, it's business as usual, I guess.
Yeah, I mean it is, but
Yeah, it is kind of sad to see though. It's sad to see that, like, man, you was in control of it.
yeah, I think LeBron's possibly looking at owning some professional team when he retires. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think he has a good chance of being part of the ownership group. Because I don't think it's going to be a that big of a money thing. I think he has a chance to be the majority owner of any franchise that he wants to run. I think he got enough bread kind of stacked up and still coming in that he can possibly make that move.
I mean, do you think that again, I agree with you. He got enough money, but it's a question of will they let him in? You think LeBron has been good enough? I mean, because we haven't heard any off the court incidents with LeBron.
No, and I think I mean, I think that's by design. And I talked about this in an earlier show. Like LeBron's circle, you think about his circle, like that's the kind of
Mhm.
circle you want as a professional athlete, not just guys that's just hanging on. His circle is some of the biggest movers and shakers, not just in basketball but in entertainment. So I'm pretty sure with Rich Paul being his agent, and the rest of his camp, I'm pretty sure they can get part of some kind of group and possibly position themselves to be majority owners. I think he can do that. And I don't think the NBA will push back on LeBron James' name still kind of being tied to the NBA, because think about it, if it wasn't his name wasn't Michael Jordan, you think Scottie Pippen would have been allowed to become a majority owner of anything?
Hell no.
I mean, Jordan is a brand.
Yeah,
Jordan,
yeah, yeah.
and he's done so much for the league. And I look at LeBron. LeBron has done. We're talking about TV ratings, bringing in money, being the face of the NBA, keeping himself clean and making it where sponsors want to really invest. I mean, because you think about the amount of money that the players are getting paid now, since LeBron is coming to the league, it's kept going up.
Also, you got to think he's really outfoxed the system because him and Rich Paul pulling off this sports agency is a clear conflict of interest. But I mean, to pull it off is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it is. But like I said, I like it's that's by design, man. He surrounded himself with first of all, surrounding himself with people that was going to protect his image first and foremost.
Hmm.
Because you don't hear nothing about him. You don't hear nothing about his crew.
Hmm.
You don't hear nothing about these guys. About the only story I've heard about anybody was like Rich Paul when he was dating Adele or something like that. Like these guys don't make the news. These guys don't associate with stuff. You don't hear nothing about them, and that's by design. That's by design. Like they understand that LeBron is a brand,
Hmm.
and you protect the brand. And sadly for Ja Morant, like, bro, there's no way you'd have been in the car with me. And you the brand. I'm trying to protect the brand. We in the car on the Instagram live, and I know it's guns in the car. No, no way, no, not considering the season that you just had. Like, no, we not. We focus on working out, making improvements to our game. We not trying to have that. That costs. You think about the amount of money Ja Morant wanting to be cool or whatever. You think about the amount of money that's cost him. It's going to cost him 7.5 this season, and it cost
Hmm.
him 38-39 million dollars with the contract extension because he didn't make an all NBA team. He didn't get that accelerator, that kicker. To what? Be cool, to be seen as a NBA young boy? Come on, man. That's not protecting the brand.
Yeah, yeah. You know, but I mean, they got to realize that when they become part of that business of basketball, you got to change your image. I mean, so many players have come before him and they've learned. Like I follow Iverson's career from day one,
Yeah.
and once he came in with the cornrows and the tattoos and all that, that we got to change the dress code. You know what I'm saying? And it dude, it'll be a never-ending battle that you won't win. You won't win. So Morant just has to understand that there's a business side to this, and it don't matter if you aren't getting arrested or you doing your job on the court. Like they could beat you down just through the media, and it's just a dirty game. But hopefully he'll get it. I don't understand. I mean, he's young, but he's not that young.
I don't know if he does though. That's it, and that's like, we won't know until he's like back out on the court, being exposed, and like we got to see. Like you would think after the situation that happened during the season, like I wouldn't want no parts of the extracurricular stuff as far as the social media stuff and all of that. Like no, because that just cost me 38 million. Now you about to lose another 7.5.
Well, it's funny because they sit you down. I think I did a video on this a long time ago. They actually sit you down and go over things like, before you go into the NBA. Like it's like this tape where they warn you about, sports groupies, mafia guys trying to get you to fix games, the gambling, the guns, the drugs. They actually sit you down and tell you these are things you need to stay away from. So, I mean, yeah, he's violated. He violated certain rules, unwritten rules. But at the same time, man, like, man, they really gotta stop dogging us like that, man. They really do.
Yeah, but um,
Think about it. It's been a lot worse. Trust me, it's been a lot worse, man.
I agree, but man, as an athlete, man, as a public sport, public
Yeah,
figure.
it's stupid. It's stupid on all levels, bro. I can't sit up here and try to justify what he's doing. If you're making that kind of money, why would I even care to be on social media flashing? Like that's just so stupid, man. It sends out the wrong message. But
It
it's not
does.
like he's not even coming out saying like, oh, I'm taking a stand for this for that. Like, it's not even like he just obviously he just did it to look cute, and it's I don't know, man. It's stupid.
Well, I mean, he's paying for it, and you talking about losing, and I'm just talking about your on the court money. We're not even talking about what you're losing off the court, bro. And
Yeah,
I've said this, John Morant, they've been really trying, between him and Zion, have really been trying to set these two dudes up to be the future faces of the NBA, and these guys can't get out their own way, man.
yeah, they can, man. But look, John, I gotta get up out of here. People's like rushing me like a motherfucker. But yo, man, great show, bro. Great show as always, man.
No,
Appreciate you coming on.
yeah, no problem, man, no problem. And I'll be doing my first upload. I'm gonna tell you that was a struggle. But I'll be doing my first upload on like the new NFL content I'll be rolling out on the channel. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, uploads is not my thing. Lives are just so much easier, but uploads is
I meant to tell you about this too. I meant to tell you about this too next time I caught you. Apparently Colorado football,
Mhm.
Deion Sanders and all that.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Your boy Max V, he started up a whole nother channel just dedicated to Colorado football and Deion Sanders, and he's doing all right.
Yeah, I'm sub to him. Yeah, he's doing crazy numbers over there just with the Colorado football. So,
Yeah,
like with this channel, with the NBA season kind of being kind of wrapped up, I'm still kind of report on like big news, but I'm really gonna niche down and be like real NFL college football type stuff. And
yeah,
not, you know, we'll
they're
see what it do.
targeted, man. Targeted, bro.
Yeah, we'll see what it do. Like I said, I'm got my first upload. I just finished it up today. Man, it was a struggle. Doing all the punches, punching in and punching out. Like now,
Hmm.
what 101 take hold, man.
Listen, now y'all see what I'll be going through. I just told, I think it was Shaquem and T Pre when they was over there wilding. I was like, man, I got so much work. I can't get shit done with all. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now you see how you can't keep up. You try to juggle all the shit, and then you get entertained and just completely distracted. Because uploading, and editing, that's a lot of work, bro. So I
Oh
mean, hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna definitely check it out, man. It's on this channel, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be on this channel. I'm about to the I'm about to the point now. It's time for me to wind down over there anyway. Like, I got a couple more shows left in me, but considering the amount of time I had to put into doing this one upload, I was like, yeah, I can't focus over there like that.
Yeah, man. Trust me, man. You want to have to pick your poison, bro. Like I tried to juggle it, but it's not going to work.
No.
But hey, man, like I wish you the best, and and I'm always, I'm subbed over here, so I'm gonna see all that shit, man. You need anything you need, any like pointers or anything, man. Feel free to reach out, man.
No problem, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate you
I
coming up.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you I'll give you a website that'll actually edit your shorts. You could take your long form content
Yeah.
and you could edit your shorts. It's called, I want to say Opus, OPUS,
Opus. Okay.
Opus Clips, right? I
Uh-huh.
don't know if you checked out my shorts lately, but it's a little more advanced now with the words popping up and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that edit. The only thing I do, I take the link to any long form video that I got and I feed it into there. They bring back it already clipped out with the subtitles on it, and they even give you a headline title that'll make it go viral. It works to perfection on TikTok, bro. I mean perfection. I mean thousands of views on TikTok from those type clips. You know, I think I'm a little shadow banned on YouTube, but it works though. It works. So check out
Yeah.
that website. If you got like this upload that you got clip, that
Yeah.
if you want to clip it and you want to get some shorts out of it too, go to that website and all you got to do is upload the link to the video.
I appreciate that because I'm still learning the creative side of live is easy.
Yeah,
Not
live
saying
is easy. That's
live is easy.
yeah.
But when you're talking about putting clips together, then you talking about recording audio and making sure it's matching up. Like I said,
Mhm.
and I thought like the first time I do it, I was like, I'm used to talking. I say, okay, just hit record, get over your script, your talking points you want to
Mhm.
get out of the video. And I was like, about a minute in, I was like fumbling and shit. I was like, I
Man,
gotta.
why you think I went to a AI voice? Only thing I do is my son he caught me like going over and over again, like just retake, like that didn't come out right, that didn't I didn't deliver it right. He said, yo, write out a script. I wrote out the script and I was reading it as I was doing the voiceover. Then he said, I found this app where you could just type in what you want to be said and you could pick the voice and just go from there. It
Oh,
was the
that's dope.
best. When I tell you that was the best, if I was so happy, man. Because now I could do the content at a much faster pace. Because it's like sending a long text message.
Oh,
You
that's
know,
dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why you don't even hear my voice unless I'm on a panel or something or I'm doing a live stream.
oh, that's dope. I mean,
Yeah,
because I struggle. I ain't gonna lie to you, I struggle. I was like, damn. Punching
yeah,
in and punching out. I was like, yeah, hey, I'm not Jay-Z when it comes to this shit.
yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. And for the longest time, I freestyle all my content, bro. I just got on the whole text to speech thing, this year. But every time that was just all, and I was freestyling it. I wasn't even writing it down at first. I just started writing it down probably like in November after the Dahmer shit. I started
Mm.
writing the shit down, and then he showed me this app, and I haven't turned back, bro. Haven't turned back at all.
Yeah, but I'll definitely reach out because the creating side it's a lot more fun, but it's work, man.
Yeah, it's work. It is. It's work.
It's
It's
work.
work.
Like I tell cats, man, the live stream shit easy. Like anybody can go live. You just run
Right.
your mouth, but when you talking about actually putting stuff together and condensing it down to where people can
Hmm.
digest what you're saying.
Right.
I mean,
And for whatever reason, YouTube seems to push those videos more. They push uploads more than they do live streams for whatever reason. I don't know, but it is what it is.
well, I mean, with the uploads, like I saw that with some of my uploads as far as like, with the NBA stuff, like people be, just be looking, when they're doing the YouTube search and the uploads is promoted more than lives,
Right.
you know. Like I can put in Joel Embiid, and it's going to bring me, upload. It's not going to be talking, it's not going to show me who's talking live about the game. Like even when I was doing like the NBA highlights, it wasn't pulling up. You had people that was doing like live streams for the game, but it wasn't promoting them. It was promoting like uploads from like games from a couple days ago or whatever.
Right. Right. But I mean, once you get your name like solidified, because it seemed like YouTube has made it abundantly clear that they want you to actually brand and niche your channel.
Yeah.
You know, if you're known for a certain topic or a certain, that's what they really want you to stick to. If you try to jump out that lane, you're gonna find out the hard way. But
Okay.
at the end of it, though, you know, even the short feeds,
Yeah,
they all hit.
my shorts hit or miss. Like I was uploading shorts throughout the playoffs, and
Mhm.
some was like 1.5, and then like the next one might be like 2. I mean, they kind of hit or miss.
But
But it's,
that's good for you.
yeah.
Do you have 100 on here already?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I think I'm like 119, 120. Now I'm gonna try to. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna try to get slick next month and see if I can clip up the Crawford Spence fight and not have YouTube come down on my head when I do it.
Yeah, that's them boxing events, them pay-per-view events, man.
Because I had Tank the last Tank fight up for like a day, and I was up to like 60 67K views. But then like you know how they go. They get to sniffing around, and if you're an American channel, it's up out of
Right.
here.
Yeah. It's a way. It's a way you could do things. Like you gotta like tweak like the. It's a way you could bootleg it, like zooming in and out,
Yeah,
slowing down, speeding up.
yeah,
But
changing the audio and stuff like that. But
yeah,
well, I'm gonna try try to put together like a little highlight for the Spence fight, because I'm pretty sure that's gonna do numbers. But that's kind of like the whole separate. It's gonna be mainly, like I said, football, man. Mainly
yo,
football.
that when that Spence fight do come up, bro, that's gonna be good. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, before we get up out of here, who you got? Early prediction.
before his car accident, I would have took Spence, but I don't know. He didn't look too impressive after that to me.
Yeah, long layoff. I gotta go Bud.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At this point, I gotta go Bud.
Yeah, I gotta go Bud in this one, but I think it's gonna be a good fight though.
Oh hell yeah.
Fight of the year, and but I got Bud. I think it goes the distance. I got Bud,
Mhm.
by decision.
Controversial finish and all of that. Yeah.
I mean, if it's close enough, we're talking about running it back.
Oh, you already know. You already know. You know what I'm saying? It got to be at least 2.
Yeah, yeah,
If not if not a trilogy.
yeah. I mean,
You
because
know.
it's that's where the money at for both of them. Is fighting
Hmm.
each other at this point, because who else is left?
Yeah, no, it's really. I mean, like they really made us wait for that one. I thought Pacquiao Mayweather was bad.
Well, I mean,
They
but
really
that's the
made us
problem
wait for
with boxing. That's been a problem with boxing for like the last 20 years, man. You can't get got. Remember the 80s when you had Sugar Ray
Mhm.
fighting the Hagglers and the Hearns, like them guys got in the ring and was fighting each other. These guys,
Right.
they do a lot of tap dancing, and that's why the UFC caught up to them. When we're talking about pay-per-view numbers, UFC has caught up to them because they put the best guys. Hey, you the number one contender. You got the next fight, and we not waiting 2-3 years to get it done.
The only thing that I could say about that though is that I respect how a lot of these boxers really tried to get the business sense of it. Like the way Mayweather did it, like
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to fight this guy just because y'all want me to. I'm going to fight him for the biggest, purse in the world. Like he was really holding these dudes hostage. Like, no, you got to give me 9 figures to fight.
But it's a double-edged sword because when you playing hardball negotiations, you missing out. But I mean, think about how much time has passed since we've been talking about Bud versus Spence.
Yeah, I get it, but what did Mayweather lose? What are they losing? How what they getting some huge purses.
Well, I'm not disputing that. But you're missing out on bigger bags over a longer period of time because you haggling. I mean, they've been haggling over the purse for Bud and Spence for years.
Hey man, what?
And I mean, I'm glad they getting it. No fault to them. I'm glad they
Yeah.
getting it, but I mean, you guys been tap dancing for so long, and now you guys got to go out here and deliver.
Well, Bud did get rid of he shook himself away from Top Rank, right?
Yeah,
That was probably the whole. He probably wanted to get from underneath Top Rank so he could, get his bag. You really got to think. Those Mayweather was breaking a lot of chains. Like he was under Bob Arum. Then he was working with Jay Prince. Then he was working with Oscar De La Hoya. And at the tail end of his career, when he left HBO, went to Showtime, he was getting a bag, bro, and he was choosing who he could fight. You know what I'm saying? It was like these boxers was coming to them on their knees, like, oh, can I be worthy to get my ass whipped by you? Like it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just looking at it from the business aspect for the boxer. You know what I'm saying? Because they was getting taken advantage of for a long time.
oh yeah. I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but you guys can get to the can you get to the business a little faster? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's
No,
what-
I get it. I get that. I get that. And trust me, when you say UFC, I think Muslim was telling me, man, they getting jerked. The
oh yeah,
fighters,
the fighters are getting jerked.
ah,
It's only certain guys that
couple 100,000.
yeah, them guys they don't make if unless you're like a top guy, they don't make a lot of money.
Well, you got to think, like you said, their pay per view numbers is good. They got good pay per view numbers. They got deals with ESPN Plus. The actual they asked UFC, I think, bought out the WWE or some shit.
Yeah, but
They making money hand over fist. But the fighters,
the fighters are more independent contractors than you think. Like they're under UFC quote unquote contracts. Like you owe us 5 fights, but I mean they're not really unless you're like a top guy. You're not in a position to really be picking and choosing like who you fight and when you fight. Really, like
yeah.
you got to be like a Conor McGregor or John Jones or Brock Lesnar. You got to create a name for yourself to where you can start really calling shots and
But
really.
they really don't got control on either though. I mean, the UFC really got it sewn up to where they're still in control. That's why I can't really knock the fighters for getting from underneath. It's their career, it's their profession. I love seeing them, independently promoting their own fights and turning water into wine. I love seeing it. Is it bad for the fans where because they don't get to see the fights they want? Yeah, but at the same time we can't be crying and getting a special years after they retired about how they ain't got nothing. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I mean, I listen.
Because
I,
you're gonna see a lot of that with the UFC, bro. Trust me, you're
oh
gonna
yeah.
see a lot of that.
I mean, but I think the UFC is about to start. Fighters are really starting to speak out as far as their pay and that kind of stuff. So you're going to start seeing some changes and pushback on that end also.
And you
It's
said
working.
something. You said something too that was interesting. You said they're independent contractors in UFC, right?
I mean, for the most part, I mean, they're not signed to like. I mean, they're not signed to there's no Haney. There's no top ranked promotions. Like a lot of these guys, represented by their gyms, but they signed to the UFC, and they have, you know, 3-fight contract, 5-fight contract. And that's kind of like what the former UFC champion Francis Ngannou, his contract ran out, and he was like, I want to negotiate something better than what you offer me. And he ended up leaving. Walked away with the champ, you vacated the championship. Like, I'm out. Like, I've tried to negotiate with you guys for a proper asking price. You're gonna see, some guys, but I mean, we're talking about years down the road before a lot of those fighters kind of get on board with getting proper pay, because Dana White ain't missing no meals.
Right, and it's crazy. Like I said, they worked out a deal with the WWE. You ask any wrestler, because wrestlers are quote unquote independent contractors, 1099 employees.
Yeah.
But look how much they travel on the road. They're responsible for their own room and board, and they don't get no per diems for all this traveling.
Mhm.
It turns into like they're getting over, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like the same thing going on in the UFC, but man, I can't. That's why I can't knock the boxers for doing what they did. I can't knock them for it, because man. I used to live across the street from Tex Cobb. Remember him? Yeah, man. I got some stories about him. Tragic, just tragic. Meldrick Taylor, tragic, man. It's yeah.
Yeah, but let me get up out of here, man, because I got to get prepped for.
Yeah, man, I was supposed to have been off here.
Yeah, but get prepped for that. And defrauding. To answer your question, like, nah, it ain't dying, man. But I've been talking about building for a minute, man, and it's a transition. And some people gonna be happy with it. I'm not gonna be like announcing like, yo, I'm retiring, but I got to focus my energy elsewhere right now. So.
Yeah, I see the fraud said he might want to switch up to the AI voice. It's not for everybody, but it's an option. It's definitely an option. It do make the content a lot easier too. So
defrauding he's got. You ever read defrauding short stories?
Yeah, I seen a couple of his short stories, and that's what I'm saying. He would probably excel at that, because if he's writing that stuff up, I mean, imagine the possibilities. I mean, even Shaquem, if he was to do it with his little with his comedic science stuff, he'll, what I'm saying? Like, it's but you just gotta tinker with things. Trust me, if you're gonna go into the creative side of this YouTube thing, you're going to explore all the options. You're going to explore all that stuff, and you're going to be looking for a game, because the technology is actually like advancing to where you got to keep up with, certain stuff like, Chat GPT and,
See, I know none of that stuff. Like,
stuff.
I'm just getting familiar with CapCut. Like, I got DaVinci Resolve, but I don't think I'm advanced enough to really fuck with that editing software just yet. But I'm getting kind of good with CapCut. But I dabble.
It's a lot of it's free.
Yeah. So, but let me go ahead and get ready.
Save it for a build show or something. But yeah, I'm gonna get up off here, bro. I appreciate you having me on.
No problem, man. Appreciate you coming through as always, and I'll see you around.
No problem. All right, bro.
All right, now. All right, appreciate TC for coming up, man, chopping it up. A very good show. Wasn't planning on doing this live. Wasn't planning on doing it live later, but I got to start prepping for that. Appreciate everybody for coming in. As always, like, share, and subscribe. I'm getting ready to put the stuff up on YouTube for my first upload. We'll see how it go. We'll see how it go, but like, yeah, I'm enjoying that side of the house a little bit more, man. It's a lot more fun, a lot less stress-free, and it allows me to kind of, push myself creatively. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Hit the like on the way out. Still no outro, because I wasn't planning on doing the show, so I didn't break my promise. Still no outro, but I'm out.